All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Stocks. Doing some more stock stuff today. And what's up, Rob? So, market officially went into a correction yesterday on the NASDAQ. So, at this stage of the game, we're back into looking for a follow through day. If you guys remember what a follow through day is, 4 days after the bottom, we look for 4 days at the earliest. There has been a rare 3-day follow through day, but there isn't many published rules about that. But on the 4th day or after, you're looking for elevated volume and a considerable price increase. Usually over 1% is the threshold. I think I'm just talking to Rob right now. All right, so watch the market for a little bit here. I'm not too interested in taking on long positions at this time. Again, we're looking for a follow-through day to try to get long again. It's still very early in this most recent pullback, and we'll see kind of what the market holds for us here. The only things that is really working is the Bitcoin stuff. GBTC, I'm sure Riot is up there, up 8% today. That's due to Bitcoin's non-stop rally, essentially. Did you find one? Did you get a picture?
No.
Hold on, doing a couple other things here too at home this morning too, guys. Are you still trying? Okay, so
He moves off the
yeah, try to pat him, calm him down, and then try to take a picture with one hand if you can. So that's what we're looking for here today. Is not really entrance into Bitcoin, but I think we'll have plenty of time for that. I think we go higher in BTC, but I don't think we just precipitously rise. Although that's been the general theme here lately. Did you find anything? Did you get one? Oh, that's pretty good. Is that the one you want to use? You took a picture of him pooping, and that's the one you want to use at school.
He's not pooping. He's just playing in a litter box.
I'm pretty sure he's going potty. Oh, that one's pretty good. Although he's behind the toilet. You have a lot of potty shots in here. Do another one. Don't take a picture of him on the potty. Your friends are gonna make fun of you. Come on. Also having a debate with someone in the Slack chat room under conspiracy theories, if you guys are interested in checking it out. Our friend 50 Satoshi, who is the most fun person to debate because he sees things completely different from me and is more than happy to talk about them in length for months. Really fun. Really fun right there. All right, so yeah, I'm like I said, really interested in the stock market at this moment. Really just to be honest with you, I'm kind of looking for a little mini rally and a point to exit another portfolio that I'm managing that I did not exit when I exited on my portfolio. This one has a longer term strategy, so. And let's take a look at some of these leading stocks today. CGC, okay, not doing too bad. Yeah, the MJ stocks are the ones that you would think would hold up the most. Let's look at that ETF. Yeah, it's not holding up that great. Tilray, pretty cheap down here at 47. Well, I won't say 40 or pretty cheap, but it's down here at 47. Its IPO, I think, was in the teens. Or 20, there you go, close to the teens. Man, long way up, long way down. All right, NASDAQ up 0.91%. Haven't seen too much China news come out. Let's check our our tweeter in chief and see if he says anything about China will be pumping money into their system and probably reducing interest rates as always in order to make up for the business they are in order to make up for the business they are and will be losing. Oh, okay. Not much by the Donald there in terms of tariffs. Just some more talking about tariffs and buying from the U.S. and stuff like that. Oh, today I officially updated my budget to include 18 million for a great Special Olympics. That's funny. I was doing a bunch of budget stuff this morning, it looks like. I got to be honest with you. I got to say, in a way, I kind of like tweeting everything that you're doing because at least we know what the hell's going on. We don't have to look at news or something like that. You get it in real time. So apparently Trump was having a budget meeting 15 hours ago, and 18 million for the Special Olympics, 300 million to clean up the Great Lakes. That's good. NASA 1.6 billion, 200 million for the Army Corps Everglades restoration work this year. And that's it. So he had a budget meeting for about 2 hours. Like you literally get to see the government minute by minute when Donald Trump is president. It's actually pretty cool. I have to admit, I do kind of like that. Then he goes on to talk about tariffs. So he must have had I think this is Trump on the bathroom. I think Trump's on the toilet for about 2 hours when he starts tweeting stuff like that. Budget meeting, bathroom time. Yeah, you can see his whole schedule in his tweets here. Pretty interesting. I thought this was interesting. Asian American taxpayers receive an average tax cut of $2,500. I'm like, where'd that come from? Is she Asian? I don't know. Just an interesting statistic to throw out there. Anyway, there you go. All right, 0.96% of the NASDAQ. Again, looking for a follow-through day, and it can't come for like 2 more days. So not much going on at the moment in terms of stocks. Still debating with 50 Satoshi. So I'm not sure if I'll be on here a whole lot, to be honest with you, today. CYBR, which has been, a leader in the market, actually making a new high today. That's interesting. I will say that. Looks like they had earnings, beat earnings by, looks like over 10%. Or is that 20%? Not quite 20%. About 15%. Beat earnings by about 15%. There's still selling pressure. You see they gap higher in the overnight session, and then they're coming back a little bit this morning. There's the high of the day. I'm not sure. Okay, so that is during market. So popped up, came right back down, and now we're going higher on lower volume. Beyond, which may be forming an IPO base here, so maybe buyable somewhere at this 85.55 level would be your technical buy point at this point in time. Cron, right, blockchain, STNE. And then we get back into the normals back here again. DBX, INS holding up there pretty strong. Docu right back down into the lows, unfortunately. INS. Newer. Pausing right. Look at that. Right up to my trend line. Didn't quite touch it. That's got to be less than $1. What's the high there? 108.91. I had that. It's like 21 cents. Oh, Uber. Yeah, let's check out Uber. Yeah, big gap down yesterday. Yeah, that was probably in tune with the market. I mean, see, here's the thing with companies going public these days, and I got to be honest with you. They usually go to the public market a little too late. Facebook was a great example of this. Facebook came to the market with, I think, a $200 billion valuation, which was really unheard of for an IPO. I don't think it started with Facebook. It could have, but I don't necessarily. Anyway, it could have started with Facebook, but that was really one of the first super market cap heavy IPOs. Like when Microsoft IPO'd, it was in the millions. It was valued in the millions. It was a fledgling company. They used to use the public markets to here's the thing. Keep this in mind when you're looking at IPOs. They used to use the public markets to raise money. Now they use private parties to raise money, and when those private parties want to cash out, they use the stock market. That's exactly how they use it. Because think about an Uber, for instance. They invest in it early when it's probably only worth, a couple $100 million or a couple dozen $1 million, and then they sell it to the public at its current market cap, which, let's go to FinViz and check out what it is. $50 billion. So when you think about all these people that have invested in Uber over the years, that's like the new business model, is essentially to get involved in companies early stage and then sell them to the public markets. Which kind of leaves us holding the bag in the end. I mean, I'm not investing in Uber, but there's probably a lot of people that are trying to buy Uber thinking it's going to be great. Oh, Uber's coming to the market. But yeah, why is it going to be great? It's never made money and it's worth $50 billion. I mean, come on, at least Tesla kind of has some stuff going for it. Uber just rents taxis. I mean, Tesla's at least fairly innovative. I don't think Uber's that innovative, to be quite honest with you. It's just a real-time ride-sharing app with a huge autonomous driving expenditure. All right, enough ranting about that. Nick asked a question. What are the prerequisites for a follow-through day? Be in a correction, have more volume than the previous 8 days coming from a downtrend. So let's walk you through the last follow-through day that we had. I'll walk you through the past couple of follow-through days that we had so you kind of get a good sense of it. So 4 days after a bottom, you look for an increase in volume and a day that has a lot of upside, usually over 1%. Okay, so here was our downtrend. I think we went into a correction, I think it was this day. This day officially put us in a correction. We were market under pressure, I think here, and then we ended up going into correction 3 days later on this day. Now, you could have sold this, actually did sell on this day earlier in the day. You don't have to sell all the way back down here when you see it's going to be just a huge garbage day. Okay, so we went into correction here, and I think I've done this before. And I can never do my arrows correctly. I don't think that's a large arrow. Anyway, we went into correction here. All right. And so now what you're looking for is a follow through day. So you find a bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this fourth day or thereafter, you're looking for a day of 1% increase or greater thereabouts with increased volume. Now, obviously, it goes down here, goes down here, goes down here, goes down here. Now, the way you negate a bottom is by undercutting it. Okay, so we undercut on this day, and we start the count over again. This is 0, 1, 0, because we undercut again, 0, because we undercut again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we start looking for increased volume. 1, 2, boom, follow through day. There's a follow through day. Now, not every follow through day works, but every single bull market rally has started with a follow through day. And I mentioned this as we were going on the way down too, and I'll continue to do so. Not every follow through day works. So what happens here? How do you negate a follow through day? You undercut the low. So what happens here? Immediate reversal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We go down, we go down, we go down. Technically, that could be another follow through day because it looks like it was a pretty good percentage gain. And then we undercut here. And then that completely negates that follow through day. And then we start again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next day, we have another follow through day pretty quickly here. It could be a thing where they know about the follow through day, that people are looking for it. Hard to know how these things are engineered in terms of, why they rally, why they fall. But anyway, so this one goes up a little bit more and then starts faltering again. And we come down lower, undercut here. And then we try to find a bottom. And lo and behold, we find a bottom. And now you can do the exercise. We can go 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're looking for a follow through day and elevated volume with a pretty good price percentage gain, usually greater than 1%. So we go here to a green day. That looks good. Oh, volume is lower. So that doesn't work out. Volume lower, volume higher, but not 1%, not a great gain. Continue on. I'm looking at volume now. So now there's this volume. That could qualify, but to be honest with you, I'm on the Nasdaq futures. They don't look at the Nasdaq futures; they look at the actual Nasdaq volume, and I think this day did not qualify for a follow-through day in terms of volume. And then we have a couple more days here. These are not egregious volume days, okay, so we're here. That could qualify. But again, I don't think IBD did because they were looking at NASDAQ volume. And then we're here, higher volume but not a tremendous price percentage gain, higher volume but not a tremendous price percentage gain, negative day, not higher volume, not higher, not higher, not higher, not higher volume. This day was higher volume and had a good price percentage day. This was our ultimate follow-through day. Right there. So that was our ultimate follow-through day. And you can see what happened. We went into a correction. We had one follow-through day that didn't work. We had two follow-through days that didn't work. And we finally had the third follow-through day that actually did work. So markets are tricky. But it is what it is. You're never going to get perfect. But this one got you in pretty good. If you would have viewed this one as a follow-through day here, I can't be too mad at you, because it was a pretty good volume increase, and it does look like our price increase was greater than 1%. Looks like, yeah, it's about 2% right there. So I'm not exactly sure why. I could go back to, let me pull up an IBD chart, and we can, although I think they have weekly charts. I don't think they really do daily charts. Let me see if I can pull up a chart of the NASDAQ. Oops, not news, damn it. Handle NASDAQ ETF, what the hell is that? All right, I clicked some buttons I shouldn't have. And I got into a weird place. Handle ETF, NASDAQ charts. You know what? There's another. Sorry, guys, trying to navigate this website over here. Oh, where the hell is it? Go away. Stock market, stock lists. IBD charts. Why is that so hard to find? It's under research. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so here's the NASDAQ chart. I found this under research IBD charts, if you ever want to get back here. Okay, so here's a daily chart. So here we can go. This, I think, was that little mini follow-through day. This was the actual follow-through day. I'm not sure if I can zoom in. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I guess I can. It doesn't do me doesn't do me any good though. Not from what it looks like here. Okay, let's just refresh. Yeah, that's adding to my list. So that's the actual follow-through day. I believe. Where's my cursor? Okay, I believe. So you can see the volume on my cursor down below. See the increase in the volume. Oh, that's perfect, Ethan. Excellent. See what happened? You like that picture? That's a really good one. Yeah, let me see it. I'll print it. Let me finish my lesson real quick. Okay, so that's our fall through day. If you go back to that previous day, I think that was this day, and it was increased volume. It may have not been enough for IBD though. It was slightly increased volume. That could have been a loose follow through day, I guess, if you want to use that term. But they coined this as the follow through day. Let's go back to 114 and see if we can. Big picture. Back to 114. See, they do it by the name of the article. They don't do it by the date. Darn it. Okay, infinite scroll. Let's see if it'll infinite scroll its way back to frickin' January. Hold on a second. That's really good, Ethan. $119 is where we're trying to get. Alright, Ethan, I'm gonna have to take this on my computer, okay? They don't have 119 on here, oddly enough. Don't start getting tricky on me, IBD. I have to send this to my computer, Ethan, okay? Confirmed uptrend. Says confirm uptrend. Maybe that was our follow through day. Huh. Okay, well, it says that was our follow through day, so let's go to the 18th, see if we were still in a correction. Confirmed uptrend. The hell? When the hell they go to a follow through day then? Stock market, Goldman Sachs, Nasdaq stalls after early pop, but stock market needs more of this. Huh. Interesting.
What's that ball? What's that red ball?
What, Ethan?
What's that red ball?
Red Bull? What do you mean?
Go down. Scroll down.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
That's the stock market bull. That's on the stock. That's on the outside of the stock exchanges on Wall Street in New York. Anyway, one of these days was a follow through day. I'll have to figure that out. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta do something for my kid. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Colored?
Yeah, it's gonna print color. Yeah.
Colored?
Hmm.
Colored?
Mm-hmm. So now I'm curious when they actually call that a follow-through day. I'm just gonna try to figure out. Is it stripey? Is the whole picture stripey?
No, not at all.
Looks good.
Look at it.
Let it dry a little bit. Oh yeah, great. It does. Okay. That was January 9th.
January 9th? That's almost my birthday.
Oh, that is almost your birthday, Ethan. That's right.
Only one more day.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Oh, the S&P must have flashed a follow through day before the Nasdaq did. Yeah, that's anytime Nasdaq or S&P flashes a follow through day, the market goes back into a follow through day. So they don't have their handy dandy little box here for some reason, but oh yeah, so it was flashed on the S&P. Interesting. Interesting. So anyway, yeah. So a fall. Yeah, I forgot that a fall through day can happen on either the S&P or the Nasdaq. You really don't get one on the Dow Jones. They do exist. It's the same criteria, but generally it's for. They generally call them on the Nasdaq or the S&P. All right. What's our Twilio doing? I will say a good thing about this particular correction is that I mean, it's only been, we've only been in it one day. We haven't seen too many of my actionable stocks. INSG looks like it fell apart a little bit more, but that's almost within its trend that it's had down to the 200-day moving average. It bounced off of that, it looks like, the other day, but Living a lower, looks like a declining channel has been forming. Skyworks just fell apart. See, we're not seeing too much of this. This price action right here is what I think you would expect to see, which is what we had last time around when we entered correction territory. Roku, not much of a sell-off. Team, not much of a sell-off. Trade Desk did get a sell-off. Workday hasn't sold off yet, has earnings coming up. SE holding up tight. Nvidia has sold off again. I think Apple probably, let's look at Apple. Let's finish this list up I know I'm all over the place today, guys. There's not much to do with the market in a correction right now, so AMRN looks like it actually broke down, so that's a little bit of a breakdown. AMRN not a leading stock, however. MKC attempted to go higher, hasn't held yet. GPK mentioned on the gap day, trying to hold. Oh, where's GPK? There we go. GPK coming back down to the gap low. Was mentioned right there. Holding so far pretty good, but really nothing I think we need to be jumping into. Netflix is coming down to recent lows, support at the 50-day or the 200-day moving average there, excuse me. C-Trip cracking under pressure, Fox cracking also. CRISPR, Boot cracking under pressure, so a little bit of pressure here. You just need to see an O'Reilly under pressure. That is interesting because this is essentially, I mean, we had a nice downturn here in the early half of 2017, but it's basically been in a perpetual uptrend for years. There's a correction right there. Correction, resetting of base counts. That's just a base right there, cup and handle. Then you have a resetting of base counts. And so we'll see. You know, O'Reilly is one of the bigger ones that's been favored by the market for a long time. That one's going down. Let's see what MasterCard and Visa are doing. Those are usually very, very stable platforms. Above the 50-day moving average, which is good. Visa's going to have the exact same chart, basically. It's basically a duopoly is what those two are. All right, let's take a look at Apple. One thing about Apple we noted, and I haven't gotten rid of these lines. If you guys remember, when we were deep in this huge correction, remember all the way back down to here, we talked about this very long-term trend line for Apple. This extends all the way back to 2006, it looks like. And we had these primary trend lines, a secondary and a tertiary trend line. We had a tertiary trend line broken here, here, and here, with a secondary trend line here, here, and here. Not really respected so much. We could be on a way to come back and test this primary trend line. Yeah, what's up, Eli? Nick says, how many distribution days until the probability of a reverse in trend is likely, and what criteria does a distribution day exemplify? So distribution day, see, the day count changes, and I'm a little mystified by IBD in this sense, because when we finally went into a correction last time, and I got rid of my windows, I think we were only at like 7 distribution days. It actually gradually increases. Let me see if I can find the day before. I'll pull this back up. Distribution day is either stalling or going down by 0.2% in elevated red volume. And a down day is red volume by default, so there's nothing crazy there. May 6th. All right, come on. How can it be the big picture if you're not going to give me the damn window thing? There we go. Market uptrend under pressure means that one more distribution day and we go into a correction. So see, only five on NASDAQ and S&P, so it was like 6 distribution days. The last time we went into a correction, which was up here, it was like 8 or 9 distribution days. So they don't give you that much information in terms of the distribution day count. They just kind of, this is one of the few parts of IBD, this distribution day count, that is in constant flux and changes cycle to cycle, year to year, it seems like. IBD works because it is a rules-based system, which is excellent, but this is one part that's a little up to debate, is how many distribution days. When I started, it was around 4 to 5, and it got up to as high as, like I said, 8 to 9. It got as high as 8 to 9, and then now it's back to 6. So they may have added some other criteria that we haven't quite been privy to. And I don't go to all the IBD meetups, and there's not a lot of IBD events where IBD has a big presence. They basically have spokespeople at the meetups that are just guys like you and me that go in there and teach the stuff. Most of it's pretty simple, but when you get into the minutia and the very advanced sections of CanSlim, such as distribution day counts and how many takes us into correction, there's not a lot of information on that, unfortunately. Everything else is pretty on point. That's a little bit weird. Eli says, market looks fine. I would not wait for doomsday. So what do you mean? Are you taking positions now, or what do you mean by that? Is that just a general thought? So going back to my Apple conversation here, in terms of the larger trends and the larger pullbacks we've had in Apple, these are 3 of the bigger ones on the weekly chart. At this stage, we've broken this one again. We've broken this trend line here. We broke it here. We rallied here. So this one we were choppy. This one we kind of blased through the secondary trend line. The secondary trend line isn't the strongest trend. As you can see, there's not a lot of support on it here, and it was chopped through there on a number of occasions. Same with this one here, but this one on the way down, once it undercut it a second time, it bounced up into it and then failed all the way back down to this primary trend line. So we'll see if we get something like that here on Apple, but that's a much deeper correction if it gets there. It's another 30%, which is pretty, that's pretty aggressive here. I don't think it was near 30%, about 16%. So that's quite a ways for Apple to go down. Not quite sure if this scenario will play out again. It seems a little disingenuous, to be honest with you. Because I think we elevated off these trend lines more. This one's about 73%. This one's over 100%. And this one's 100%. This one is 100%. So yeah, I guess in the past we have rallied 100% off of this trend line and have come back down. Is it dry? Cool. We got up so fast, it was obvious there will be some distribution. I will get worried if it goes down another 200 points. Okay. Yeah, I'm still following the good old distribution day count, and all of that jazz. With leaders stalling out, it's been fairly obvious we were a little bit top heavy, and so yeah, correction. Yeah, we can get a follow through day. Any day. That's the thing about a follow through day. As long as you have a low, which I think we have a new low today. 72.90. Yeah, 72.90 today. So today would be day 0. As yesterday, the market went into a correction according to IBD. I think it was yesterday. Wasn't it yesterday? Which was the 13th. Let me check on the 10th on the big picture here. Yeah, still uptrend under pressure. So in marketing correction. Yep, so yesterday was the straw on the camel's back for IBD that it kind of broke their trend. No, not at all, Rob. That probably went into their thinking. IBD is pretty big on the 50-day. That's probably a decent part of their thinking. Like I said, William O'Neill still isn't at the helm of the publication anymore. So they're probably a little bit looser with their rules interpretation. One of the good things about IBD, at least the old IBD, is that William O'Neill was at the helm and he would step in and actually correct the paper if they were getting something wrong. Not that That happens often. It doesn't. It happens at extreme turning points. As a matter of fact, the last time I can remember William O'Neill stepping in editorially is actually on a 2015 follow-through day after Christmas during the holidays. And that's because he called it a rare 3-day follow-through. Keep in mind, William O'Neill, his whole entire life has developed this CanSlim system. So there was a rare 3-day follow-through day, must have been 2016 then. It was during, I wonder if I can go back to 2016 in terms of the big picture. That I wouldn't mind doing. Anytime you can get information directly from William O'Neill, listen, pay attention, and write it down, read it, all that good stuff. That man is a legend in terms of investing, and there's just really no one quite like him. Yeah, it's going to take forever. But yeah, so over here, I believe there was, he called it a rare 3-day follow-through day. We were in a correction. I thought it was 2015, though. That doesn't look right. In 2015, we went back into a correction there, so I don't think that was accurate. It was Thanksgiving. Maybe it was Thanksgiving. Yeah. Anyway, but that's one thing that we are missing at IBD these days is a gentleman like William O'Neill just takes over. Just takes over. So that always sticks in the back of my mind, to be honest with you, as a thing. It's like, hey, is this a time where William O'Neill would have said something different? I always try to think like that. Now, as time goes on, I don't know how many other people think like that, to be honest with you, how many other people even know. Number one, I don't think too many people know about William O'Neill that do IBD, because I don't think a lot of them are really hardcore students. But if you if you do understand that and believe in that, then you know the impact of that man. And we won't get it won't be major news stories when that guy passes away because he's in his 80s now, but really will be a sad day for investors. But he leaves behind IBD, which is a great resource for everybody. I just don't know much about his kids and if they're just rich douchebags or not. I don't know. It's taking forever, this Infinite Scroll thing. Are there any hacks to Infinite Scroll? I'll just hit page down twice. That's what I'll do. Does he do a correction? Yeah, possibly. It's sure had just an insane rally. The problem is it doesn't look done. It just doesn't look done. It hasn't looked done, continues to not look done, and it's not quite done. It'll be done when it's done. XRP, though, getting with the program. We've been talking about XRP on the Crypto Power Hour for the past couple of weeks in terms of this 30-cent level getting lower as Bitcoin's rally sustained more and more. So XRP up 27% today. Huge day for XRP today. It's been beaten down so far. So far. All right, I got this infinite scrolling thing down to July 2017. It's taking a long time. EOS 7%, XLM 13%, doing pretty good. But I think we're basically in full-fledged bull mode here, Eli, in terms of crypto. It's really just behaving. The price action is not supportive of really any distribution yet. Look at my volume aggregation tool. It's just super green. Still super green, even after all this garbage. It's just insanely green. I'm still trying to find this, because now I'm curious. I need to write these days down. The brain skull can only hold so much information. But I mean, there could be something to the point where Bitcoin is actually a hedge for the stock market in the same way that gold used to be. That would be very interesting. Very interesting. That would change the dynamics of Bitcoin greatly. Well, you don't get a... I don't think it's a bull trap, Eli. I agree with you that we're probably going to have a large correction at some point. I completely agree with that. At the same time, the amount that it's going up, if you we've been looking at the later part of the 2016 bear market ending after the choppy market ended. I'll show you since you're here. We've been looking at we were looking at some kind of move going up and then coming back down potentially. Like here early on, this was before we breached 6,000. We were looking at this yesterday in the past couple of days. We've been looking at this part right here coming out of the doldrums, and then a huge parabolic move up here. This is obviously another parabolic move, and then this crashed back down into a pivot point here at this 308 level. So there's a possibility we crash back down into the 6K level. Early on, we were looking for a possible retracement into 42 right here. That seems a little far-fetched at this stage of the game. Seems 46% seems a little far-fetched. So more than likely we're gonna find a pullback. I don't know, maybe this 58 level. Maybe this was maybe we'll pull back to that. That seems potentially viable. Down about 27%. I don't know about 40+%. Seems a little difficult to get that. But another thing is there's still some distribution. If you notice my volume aggregation tool here, you see the cells are rising a little bit with the buying. If you go back to this, it was pretty blatant. There was no selling involved up until that top. And then the selling comes in. There was no selling here, which caused a larger drop down. The fact that we do have some distribution in line with the running implies to me that we could potentially maintain higher prices and possibly not have a much deeper pullback. But as it goes, we'll see what happens as things play out. We could form a base up here, a triangle or something, a cup and handle, and the cup could simply come back down to here. This would easily be in the realm of a cup, down about 28%, or somewhere down in this range. But the way this has been behaving is pretty parabolic. I do agree with you. A pullback of some kind is warranted, but hasn't happened as of yet. Lots of people left the market. Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. We were talking about this yesterday, is a lot of people that left the market are still watching. I don't think they completely left. I don't think we ever, without really getting a true capitulation out of the market, that means that everyone was still here. They never completely left. They may have sold some. But they never just completely fell apart and left. Very interesting stuff there. Okay, so I am back to 2016 now on my infinite scroll. Let me go to actually I thought it was 2015. And a lot of Michael Phelps memes in 2016. I don't think anyone's ever been back this far in the big picture. Ooh, a Ferrari, nice. See, I wish there was a URL Eli, are there any URL hacks for infinite scroll or anything I can do? Because right now I'm scrolling down. It's just adding more content, but my URL isn't changing. It's just a... I don't know if there's a way to load this. It's just like get the next 10 days or something like that. I don't know if there's a way that I could... There's probably not a hack for that, is there? May 2016. Come on. And my son's crying in the other room. Hold on a minute. All right, I'm back.
It's a jammy.
You're right, it is a jammy. Yeah, I could have swore he stepped in. Thought it was 2015, but yeah, I don't think it was 2015. Maybe it was 2017. I don't know. Yeah, I thought about something like that, Eli. I'm not good enough to reverse engineer from a live code base probably on this side of the server. It's just annoying. I'm like, why can't you just give it to me by the day? Of course, they do basically serve the lowest common denominator. I will say that. They used to put arrows on the charts for distribution days and follow through days, and they stopped doing it because people were confused. In my mind, it's like, how are you confused? You're here to follow distribution days and follow through days. You should know what they are. Oh, now we're getting to some old-ish. Check this out. This may have been when they switched to WordPress. You have all these standard WordPress-ish things right here, and then you go into the old migrated content over here. I wonder how far back this goes. Okay, now I just want to scroll this all day long and to see what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to look for something. I'll try to take a snapshot or keep the link of the article that I'm looking out for. But I'm going to get out of here, guys. Let's take a look at the market. Yes, make sure I don't suspend this tab. Never. Don't suspend this tab now. Okay. All right, so let's see what the Nasdaq's doing, market's doing. I'll get out of your guys' hair. All right, Nasdaq up 1.24% today. Volume seems pretty good. We'll probably have another high volume day as of right now. It doesn't look like too much has changed from when we started. Cron's leading us, however. So we'll see what's going on here. Yeah, VFF trying to go higher right there. Chesapeake Energy. This doesn't seem as bearish as the last correction that we had, so maybe maybe it'll end up being a little bit shorter in time from MDB, still holding tight in that pattern. ENDP. Yeah, not much. ServiceNow holding that gap up there pretty good, not really selling off. That's good for ServiceNow. Funko, Twilio, INSG. Planet Fitness, I saw one of their billboards the other day. Cyber selling off after earnings. That's not a positive sign. At least it's not falling into the floor, though. So, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day, and stay safe out there. All right, bye-bye.